The University of Colorado has over 1 million followers. Their ticket sales have skyrocketed, and they got the #1 recruit in the 2022 class to transfer to their football team. All because of one man, Deion Sanders. As the new head coach of Colorado, Sanders has transformed the entire program, and the team hasn't even played a game yet. Unlike the NFL or NBA where the money is rolling in, college programs rely on ticket sales, donors, and a winning program to boost revenue. But when you don't have any, one solution is to follow in the footsteps of the University of Colorado, or the University of Memphis, or the University of Michigan, and hire your own superstar to take control of your program's future. Let's examine the prime effect, how Colorado's entire future has changed just because of one man, and how this blueprint is nothing new. In 2020, Sanders became the head coach of Jackson State University, a small college in the FCS. Everyone knew Sanders was a 2-time Super Bowl champ and an 8-time Pro Bowler, but no one knew how he'd do coaching at the college level. Would he bring that same swagger and energy he had as a player? The answer was a resounding yes, he did. In 2021, Jackson State went 11-2 and won the conference title. But Sanders really flexed his muscles in recruiting. In December 2021, 5-star cornerback Travis Hunter committed to Jackson State. Hunter was the consensus #1 recruit of high school and turned down scholarships from Alabama, Georgia, Auburn, and Michigan, among others. It made him the highest-ranked prospect ever to commit to an HBCU, or even an FCS program. Sports Illustrated even called it the most shocking move in history of college football recruiting, and it was because of Deion Sanders. Hunter followed Sanders to Jackson State, and when Sanders moved to Colorado in December of 2022, Hunter followed his coach again. It's estimated that Sanders generated $185 million in advertising and exposure for Jackson State Athletics in September 2021 when he first came on. On the field, Jackson State went 23-2 in Sanders' final 2 seasons. He turned the program around with recruiting and exposure. And for a small HBCU like Jackson State, that's huge. It's the prime effect, and Sanders took it with him to Colorado. Since he made the move to be Colorado's head coach in December 2022, the program has already palpably changed. Of course, this was a program in dire need of any kind of boost. In 2021, the Buffaloes had a miserable 1-11 record. The athletic department lost $18 million, and they had one winning season in 17 years. But they took a big swing by hiring Sanders to a 5-year, $29.5 million contract, a big bump up from the $300,000 Sanders was making at Jackson State. But if he brought the same level of recruiting, exposure, and winning with him, Colorado believes it'll be well worth it. 9 months before Colorado's 2023 season kicks off, the signing already started to pay off. On December 7th, 2022, not even a full week after Sanders' hiring, Colorado's Twitter account released these insane numbers. The program had gotten 1,410 season ticket deposits, recorded more than 42.3 million social media impressions, and gained 173,000 new followers across platforms. They also sold $49,800 in merchandise in one day, which is a single-day record for them. During the first 2 months of 2023, Colorado ranked second in most sales among all college team stores on Fanatics. Only Georgia, the reigning champion, has sold more merchandise on the platform. Colorado's director of ticket operations and sales said he's never seen anything like this. Their phone is ringing non-stop. And, according to him, the program hasn't even done anything to promote themselves. All of this newfound hype is just from the hiring of Coach Prime. In the first couple of weeks after Sanders' hiring, Colorado had 7,000 interest forms in season tickets. For reference, they'd usually get about 1,000 interest forms over a whole off-season. From December 22 to March 23, they had about 20,000. By late March 2023, 4 months after Sanders' hiring, Colorado's season ticket renewal rate was at 97%, the best in school history by far. Their increase in season ticket sales has outdone even the 2017 season, when Colorado had the Coach of the Year, won the Pac-12 South, and finished ranked for the first time in 15 years. But bringing in Deion Sanders even after a 1-win season has brought a completely new vibe around the team. Even all the luxury suites in the stadium are sold out, with a long waiting list. And they're discussing how to make some suites or sideline areas available for Sanders' celebrity friends when they attend games. And if anyone questioned if hiring Sanders brought more exposure, you'd only need to look at the explosion on Colorado socials. They have 516,000 followers on their Instagram page, having grown it by more than 150% in the past few months. That's far and away higher than USC's following, and almost neck and neck with Oregon, the class of the Pac-12. Colorado's TikTok page has grown more than 200%, and their 197,000 followers led both Oregon and USC. Across Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, Colorado had a combined 226,800 followers before Coach Prime arrived. After he was hired, they have over 1 million followers across all platforms. An absolute massive bump. But the hype isn't just with the general public. It's also been seen in the Buffalo's recruiting. With Sanders, Colorado had the 21st best recruiting class and 5th best transfer class. It's their best class since 2008, when they finished 15th in the nation. Of course, they got Hunter to transfer from Jackson State. 2 months later, 5-star corner cormani mcclain, the 13th overall player in the nation, committed to Colorado as well. And don't forget Sanders' own son, quarterback Shedeur Sanders, who threw for 7,000 yards and 70 touchdowns at Jackson State, also following his dad to Boulder. Along with a couple of 4-star wide receivers, Sanders is building a powerhouse. Recruiting is all about perception, one analyst said, and Sanders has a huge buzz around the program. That's changed the perception of Colorado football around the nation. In fact, ESPN televised Colorado's spring game in April, the only college football spring game ESPN aired all year. Even in the snow, over 47,000 fans showed up to watch the team practice, which was by far the most in school history, and more than the last 9 Colorado spring games combined. The 2023 season doesn't even start until August, and Sanders' shakeup will no doubt have more twists and turns as he continues to transform their culture. But this isn't anything new. Take the University of Memphis, for example. In 2018, Memphis's basketball program was looking for a new coach, and they boldly brought in a familiar name, Penny Hardaway. The arrival of a former NBA star changed the program immediately. In Hardaway's first year with the school in 2018, the average attendance at men's basketball games increased more than any school in the country. In 2019, the school brought in $7 million more in total revenue than it did in 2017, coming from ticket sales and donations. But that wasn't all. Revenue from royalties, licensing, and advertising also increased. Memphis made $700,000 more from those in 2019 than the previous year. Just like Deion Sanders did, Penny Hardaway's presence also beefed up their recruiting. DJ Jeffries committed from Kentucky to go to Memphis. Boogie Ellis decommitted from Duke for Memphis. And in 2018, they also lured the top-ranked high school player in the nation, James Wiseman. On the court, with better recruiting classes than years past, Memphis had at least 20 wins in each of Hardaway's first 5 seasons, including 2 trips to the NCAA tournament. If it wasn't obvious already, one big name can change the perception of an entire college sports program, and even can enhance one that's already big. Just look at the University of Michigan's football team. Michigan wasn't a small school like Jackson State. They weren't a struggling team just trying to win like Colorado. Instead, they were already a strong football school. 3 years before they hired Jim Harbaugh in 2014, the Wolverines had an elite 11-2 record. But since then, Coach Brady Hoke lowered his win total in each of the next 3 seasons. So Michigan changed things up and swung for the fences by hiring a former NFL player who had just been the head coach of the San Francisco 49ers. Since Harbaugh's arrival, just like with Deion Sanders and Penny Hardaway, The change in Michigan football was swift and vast. In 2014, the year right before Harbor, the football program's operating revenue was at $88 million. In Harbor's first season, that increased to about $97 million. By the 2017 season, 2 years later, it had grown to nearly $125 million. Part of that was because of a lucrative deal with Nike that Michigan signed under Harbor. It was an 11-year contract that would pay Michigan up to $173 million if the deal was extended through 2031. When it was signed in 2015, it was the richest contract in all of college sports. Since Michigan was bringing in a lot more money, they were also spending a lot more. They spent over $40 million in each of Harbor's first 2 seasons. For reference, that's enough to pay for the entire athletic department budget at any Mid-American conference school. Ticket sales have also gone through the roof with Harbor at the helm. In 2014, season ticket sales were below 78,000, but have sold over 87,000 tickets in each of Harbor's first 4 years, including 91,934 season tickets in 2019, Michigan's highest since 2007. The Wolverines also led the country in home game attendance from 2014 to 2017. People are tuning in on TV as well. A 2018 Michigan-Ohio State game set a Fox record for its most-watched regular season game ever at the time, with 13.2 million viewers. Part of the reason for the increase in fan viewership is because of the winning on the field. Under Harbor, the Wolverines have crossed 10 wins 4 different times, including a 13-1 record in 2022, and a trip to the college football playoffs. Harbor hasn't always won as much as Michigan fans have wanted, but he's elevated the program immensely in finances, in recruiting, and in how the rest of the nation views Michigan football. So if there's one lesson to take away from all of this, it's that the business of college sports is vastly different than the pros, and just one big name can change the perception of an entire program. Just ask Penny Hardaway in Memphis, or Jim Harbaugh in Michigan, or Deion Sanders in Jackson State in Colorado. Because sometimes, your best isn't just to win more games, it's to bring in a big name who can change your program forever. So what do you think? Are Coach Prime and the Colorado Buffaloes coming, or will they be hard to find in this 2023 college football season? Let us know in the comments section below.